I'm curious if you have ever felt like you've been stuck in stress mode or so overwhelmed you just go numb. Like those moments where we've got so much to do, but we just can't get ourselves going. And maybe you even find yourself doing the dreaded doom scrolling thing. So when this happens, I want you to know it's not just a problem. It's not just in your head, it's your nervous system. And the key to resetting it lives in one powerful nerve you've probably never even thought about: the vagus nerve. So if you're like most women that I talk to and work with, you're doing all the things. You're holding it together for everybody else, pushing through the day, and probably still wondering why you're feeling anxious, exhausted, and perhaps even disconnected. Well, here's the truth. It's not because you're broken. It's because your nervous system is stuck in survival mode. And until you reset it, there is no bubble bath, no massage, and no quick fix that will actually stick. This is why the vagus nerve matters. It's your body's built-in reset button. And when you learn how to activate it, you can shift from stress and shutdown into calm, connection, and clarity. So what is the vagus nerve? It's the longest cranial nerve in your body, and its name literally means the wandering nerve because it runs from your brainstem all the way through your face, chest, and gut. I like to think of the vagus nerve as the body's superhighway, and it carries messages back and forth between our brains and our bodies. This is literally what controls our rest, digest, and my favorite, our connected state. So here's where this all gets fascinating and really, really important. Your vagus nerve has branches. One helps you feel safe and socially connected. One revs you into fight or flight. And if stress goes on too long, you can literally drop into shutdown mode. That's that collapsed, checked out feeling where you just can't deal. And even your posture often reflects this. So slumped shoulders and a collapsed chest will reinforce this shutdown state, while simply opening your chest signals to your brain safety. So before we get into these really simple hacks that I want you to have, let me tell you why this is so important to me and why I believe this is going to matter for you too. So I want you to know I come to this not just as a nervous system expert and alignment guide, but as a woman who has lived this burnout cycle. For years, I was trying all the things: the supplements, the workouts, the crazy self-care checklists, anything that I thought might give me relief. And yet at the end of the day, I was still exhausted. I was snapping at the people I loved. And most of all, I was lying awake at night, replaying all my regrets for the day. So I'll be honest, in these moments, when I heard that little whisper, that little voice, that I needed a break, I didn't feel like I had any tools available to me. Cooking dinner after a long day, juggling the kids' homework, trying to keep up with work demands. What could I possibly do in that moment that would help me feel like I had a break? Nothing. So I pushed that feeling down. But here's what I learned the hard way. When you push those feelings down, those desires for a break, they don't disappear. They are like a beach ball underwater, and they will pop back up, usually at the worst possible time. For me, the way that showed up would be yelling when one of my kids just spilled something, or shutting down when what they really needed was my presence. And then later that night, I would be lying in bed, and all I could feel was the shame and guilt of not showing up the way that I wanted to. I'm curious if this has ever happened to you. So that is when it clicked for me. Self-care needs a rebrand. Self-care is not about escaping our life for a massage or a workout. And as much as I love all those things, they help, yes, but they all have one really important thing in common. The reason that they all work is they help regulate the nervous system. And here is what I really want you to get from this. Nervous system regulation is an inside job. And if we only rely on external appointments or escapes, we are outsourcing our power. But when we learn to regulate from within, we can shift ourselves in the moments that matter most. When we're on edge and our kid spills their drink, when we're fried from work and someone cuts us off in traffic, or when we're about to lose our patience with a loved one. That is why these tools matter so much, because they don't just help you in theory, they change how you show up in real time. And I can tell you, after a decade of digging into the science, blending it with the soul, and practicing these tools every single day, I'm the healthiest version of myself physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I know it's because of these simple nervous system practices like the ones I'm about to share. The first one I want to share with you is what I like to call the 2-3-4 rule of regulation reps. I want to make this practical. Here's what this means. 2 minutes, 3 times a day for you. So your nervous system learns through consistency and repetition, just like your muscles do. So you don't get strong by hitting the gym for 1 hour a week. And think about that. Think about how we've seen self-care as these 1 hour escapes that maybe we get once a week. You get strong by showing up for short, consistent reps over and over again. This is the same with regulation. A few minutes, a few times a day makes a much bigger impact than waiting for that one self-care escape for an hour. And if you think about it, this is really how we build our expertise in anything. People talk about the 10,000 hour rule to become an expert. Well, in implementing these regulation reps, you're becoming an expert in regulating your own nervous system 1 rep at a time. So here are 5 of my favorite hacks that are going to fit perfectly into the 2, 3, 4 you rule. Okay, number 1, when stress weighs you down, your posture, like I said, collapses. Forward shoulders, rounded chest, caved in. That is what's called dorsal vagal shutdown. And the antidote to that is simply open your chest. Do a simple back bend. Clasp your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders. Or if you're feeling spicy, kick up into a handstand. Your goal, 2 minutes, 3 times a day for you. Okay, hack number 2. This is my lizard gaze and my lizard walks. It's in more general terms, this is expanding your gaze. When we are in tunnel vision, our brain perceives that as survival mode. Expanding our gaze away from the narrow focus of our devices signifies safety. And here's the thing, so many of us, like I said, live in tunnel vision all day long. When we're staring at our phones, glued to our computers, our eyes are locked in this narrow focus. Our brain hears survival mode and gets stuck in beta brainwaves. Expanded gaze, on the other hand, shifts our brain into alpha immediately. This is the calm, clear, and present state where our bodies feel safe. That's why I love my lizard walks, simply stepping outside, getting some sun, and expanding my gaze. So try it out. Simply soften your focus, take in the whole scene, breathe. It signals to your nervous system, I'm safe, I can expand again. Remember, your goal is 2 minutes, 3 times a day for you. Hey, quick pause. If you are someone who loves a checklist because it makes you feel like, all right, I actually did something today, this is for you. I created something called the Self-With checklist. It's basically your super simple reminder to get in your regulation reps, those 2 minutes, 3 times a day for you in those micro moments you actually have. This isn't another thing to add to your busy to-do list. The power is in how simple and subtle this is. You'll be shocked how much more connected and grounded you start to feel just by checking off these tiny boxes consistently. You can grab it through the first link below in the description or by scanning the QR code here. Okay, hack number 3, the cold water reset. Cold water is an instant vagus nerve activator. So for me, the way I implement this one is I end my morning shower with 2 minutes of cold. It's such a powerful reset. You can also add a cold face plunge at the beginning, middle, or end of your day. And if you're someone who loves or uses cold plunges, you're going to hit the goal without even thinking about it. But I want you to remember this is a practice. We're not going for perfection. So feel free to mix and match any of these tools. The point is to give your nervous system 2 minutes, 3 times a day for you. Hack number 4, breath reps. You're going to exhale longer than your inhale. Breath is probably your most portable tool, so this one's great. You can literally do this anywhere. So if you're stuck in a tense meeting, you can slip away for a quick bathroom break and take a few rounds in the stall. The beautiful thing about this is our breath is always with us. We're breathing anyway, so simply adding some intention behind it is what makes it so powerful. Here's what I want you to try. I want you to inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 8. You're going to repeat that for 2 minutes, 3 times a day for you. The long exhale stimulates your vagus nerve, lowers your heart rate, and instantly signifies safety. Okay, hack number 5, my favorite, play and laughter. The key here is understanding how powerful microdosing play really is. We don't need an hour-long workout or mountain bike ride or a tumbling class or a dance class or a massage. Instead, we can literally weave play into the little tiny breaks and moments in our day when we would normally grab our phones or check emails that never end. This has been one of the most powerful things I've done over the last few years. 2 minutes of playful movement can instantly reconnect you to yourself, balance your nervous system, and refill your cup. So for me, this often looks like hopping on my bike and doing a quick roll around the neighborhood, sneaking in some gymnastics. You all know I love my tumbling, and all the things that I loved as a kid. So for you, maybe it's turning on a song and dancing in the kitchen, or shooting hoops in the driveway if you were into basketball, or doodling, or drawing, or singing out loud, or even laughing at a silly video with your kids. And here's the magic thing. The more we implement these practices, the more we microdose play and connection, the more our brain and our nervous system remembers that joy is available and accessible anytime, not just when we schedule it on our calendar. So your goal, again, remember, 2 minutes of play, 3 times a day for you, right? I have to tell you, going back to gymnastics at the age of 42 is one of the things I get more comments on than anything else that I share. So I want to talk about that a little bit because I hope it inspires you to do something similar in your version. So gymnastics was my first love. I was naturally good at it as a kid, and it made me feel alive. But at the age of 11, I made team. And just as we were getting geared up for our first competition, I quit. My shyness got the best of me. My nickname when I was little used to be Missy Mouse. I was so quiet and shy, and I quit because of my fears. So for decades, this literally felt like a dream that I buried and lost. And I always felt it, but never even spoke it out loud. And then one day I was sitting and watching my kids at their gymnastics practice, and I thought, why not? And so I asked my kids' coach if he would train me, and he said yes. And I have to tell you, the first session, one-on-one with that coach in the arena, was like coming back to myself. I walked in our house after that hour of training, and I told my husband, don't ever let me quit again. Literally makes me cry because I never want to lose this version of me again. And that is one of the best things I've done, as crazy as it sounded, is going back to gymnastics at the age of 42, because it reminded me of who I was and what lit me up, and incorporating a little bit of that into my life as a mom, as a business owner, has completely changed the way I show up for everybody. So I share that story in hopes that it reminds you of this. We don't have to make our health so complicated. It doesn't need to be another overwhelming thing to do. It can be fun, it can be playful, and it can still be deeply powerful. And here's why. I want you to understand, I'm not just saying this, there is really impressive science behind it. Play boosts oxytocin, our connection and feel-good chemical. And oxytocin isn't just about warm fuzzies. It literally lowers cortisol, which is your main stress hormone. It helps stabilize blood sugar. It supports thyroid function and influences all of your hormones like estrogen, progesterone. Oxytocin sits at the top of the hormonal hierarchy, which means when you nurture it, everything else comes into better balance. So when I tell you to get out there and play, I'm not just saying it because it's fun, although it definitely is. I'm saying it because it's one of the most potent biological resets that you can give to your body. So here's your invitation. Start your regulation reps. Practice the 2 minutes a day, 3 times for you rule. And make sure at least one of those moments is pure fun and joy and something that lights you up. I'd love to hear from you. What is the joyful activity that you're going to bring back? Send me a message or a picture if you'd like. I love, these are literally like my favorite comments and messages that I get. And this is why I'm here doing this work. It's for moments like this. It's for getting you to get back to what makes you feel alive again. Self-care needs a rebrand. And that's exactly why I wrote this book, The Connection Code, and it's out now. I'm so excited. I wrote this for the woman who feels like she has lost herself or just simply needs a reminder that everything she's searching for is already inside of her. Inside this book, you're going to find simple, science-backed tools to help you reset in real life moments, like in the carpool line or between back-to-back meetings, or maybe when you catch yourself unfortunately snapping at the people you love most. I designed the cover and made it playful on purpose because so many of us have lost this aspect of ourselves, and we need that invitation and reminder to bring back joy every single day. Pre-order your copy today, and you'll also get access to some amazing freebies to help you start regulating your nervous system and reconnecting with yourself right away. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time.